It is Optimal Noob here. Today I'm going to be playing some Space Engineers. I got this game a while back being within, I'd say 3 months maybe. Maybe 2 months. Yeah, maybe it was this month. Can't remember, but anyway. Let's see, the build version, there's the 1.04. So it's still in, well, would it be technically considered? It is an early access release of it. Well, it was. I don't know if it is publicly released yet. But anyway, I got it when it was in beta or public or early access, whatever you want to call it. So, I've been messing around with it. It's pretty cool. Physics in the game is phenomenally amazing. So I'll just go New World, quick start. It's on creative mode. It auto saves every 5 minutes maybe. But anyway. So Space Engineers is basically a mixture of, like the building style of Minecraft where you place blocks and such. There's mechanism blocks that you place that have certain functions, such as a rotor is a block that you place vertically, or whatever direction I say. So if you place it vertically on the floor, the top head of it will spin clockwise or counterclockwise. So you can create like a centrifuge that would spin really fast. I mean, I don't know if it would spin that fast, but theoretically speaking. So, and every time you load the game, it has this thing. All our knowledge has its origin. It just has a random quote from some scientific discoverer, philosopher, scientist, anybody, But yeah. So I just hit quick start. It'll start you in a world with that red ship you see in the background, and you're gonna see a flat platform with couple ships, couple being 3, not a couple. Alright, looks like loaded. Should jump in any minute. Mind you, this game is it's not really recommended to have low PC settings on it, meaning you're gonna want a computer that can handle. Oh, jeez. So the game crashed. Let's try that again. Loading it up again. Loading. Please wait up. Should be working. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, we're in the world. It's very rendered. It's very flat colors and everything. It's very nice. Shadows and textures aren't really the best. You start in there's a skybox around you. That's just, probably repetitive, I don't know. It looks like an asteroid field going around. I don't know. You're just surrounded by asteroids, but you can't really go to those. You can go to these ones, however. You see these asteroids floating around, and then you have the sun, or the star in the center that shines on you. And there are shadows, as you can see. There are shadows. It shades it pretty well, but there are mods. You can install mods. It's completely compatible with this Steam Workshop. Excuse me. And so people can develop mods and models for the ship. You create a new skybox and load it in. They have skyboxes that don't have a sun, so it's pitch black, and the only light you get are from little light blocks you get. So anyway, as you can see in the bottom of my inventory, at the bottom of the screen right here, where my feet are, that is my inventory. Well, no, technically it's not my inventory. It is my building inventory, the hotbar in which you will use to create objects. Now, I'm in creative mode, so if I hit 1, I tap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so if I hit 1, as you can see, the middle right area, where my hand is, that says light armor block. Alright, so this requires 25 steel plates to create. Now, there are ingredients and recipes, or well, not recipes so much as, well, yeah, just as basically focus on the ingredients to create objects. Now, starting at the basics and foundations, this is your character. If I go ahead and hit V, I believe V is if I hold T, I have my bindings different from the default controls. Mine is T to look around because I had some buttons that I didn't really like that were default minded. So anyway, this is your astronaut. Fancy. Oh yes. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, this is him. He runs around, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. It's very jumpy in the animation. Just instantly running backwards. Jump, jump, turn left, strafe, turn around. If you select an object, your hand floats and all that such. So anyway, if we hit V again, we'll go back, and we hit V again, it'll restart camera. So we'll go in first person mode. If you hold shift while running it, it's running. It's actually a really good running animation. You can't strafe, of course, while running, but you can, strafe sideways and such, but you can't do that while running. I don't believe there's a running. I think you can only run forward. So anyway, let's get to the basics of what to do when you start off, I suppose. The couple functions and mechanisms of the game would be, well, if I hit G, you get this huge GUI that's just full of blocks. Well, these haven't been added to the game. They're probably just slots for if people have mods and everything. But it's relatively infinite, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, so we scroll through, and up here we have these blocks that are, light armor block, light armor slope, and they're basically different shapes of blocks. So if I right-click on these, they'll disappear. It's like right-clicking to remove. Anyway, we have an interior wall, passage, ramps, stairs, all that stuff. This is all these designed structural blocks. You have structure blocks. This is like for paths. This is for a window. You could also use it for stairs. I've seen people use it for stairs. It's pretty fancy. Then you have heavy armor blocks that are better than these. There are weapons in the game. And if you're in like a ship-to-ship battle or something, you would want a heavy armor block if they have rockets shooting at you. There are different, uses for all of these. Every block has so many uses that people just create. So, button panel that was added. I can't remember which version of the game, but it was added. It's pretty new. It wasn't there in the original version of the game. Pillar wall. These are just used for as a barricade. You can rotate at the top right. You have this weird looking cube, and if you turn, all the buttons change. They'll change relative to what direction you're looking in. So if I were to hit delete, it would turn it clockwise. If I were to hit end, it would turn it. Oops. If I were to hit page down. See, page down turns it that way. But it's really hard because the laptop. I'm using a laptop right now. The laptop I'm on, the buttons aren't really all together. Usually all these buttons that you have at the top right are in that little 2x3 square set up on your keyboard, but mine are not, so it's very awkward. I have to bind them to my mouse or something. But anyway, here we have a door. It's pretty simple. There's a button panel on it right here. You can't really see, it's right there. That's definitely, you just hit it and the door opens and such, but you have the materials on the left side. It shows you the recipe for it and how many ingredients you need of all of it. Those you create by mining minerals that you find in asteroids. We'll get to that in a minute. These are, more designed batteries. They hold electricity that are generated by small reactors. Now you place these down, and they just sit there. Electricity in the game runs through blocks. So whatever block is touching the reactor, electricity can run through it. It's infinite. It's not like Minecraft Redstone where it only goes 15 blocks. This is just infinite. It just goes and goes and goes. As long as the blocks are connecting and touching and stuff, then electricity will go through. So you have a giant ship, and you put one reactor, the entire ship, any electrical block that's attached to the ship physically will be supplied electricity. Unless there's too many, then there needs to be more electricity generated, but the reactor cannot create that much because there's only a maximum output per reactor. So if you have a lot of electrical components, then you need more reactors to make up for that need of electricity. So anyway, I'll go to the cockpits. These are 3 different kind of cockpits. Cockpits are universal for large ships and small ships. They're just, a basic design. There are mods out there there's a fighter cockpit. I can't remember who made it, but I know it looks freaking awesome. But these you just place on your ship, and you can hit the action button or whatever you want to call it to enter it. And there's actually this really cool first-person display it's really nice. That you need to build ships and control stuff. Heck, you don't even need it to control a ship. You could just put it on, let's say you had a ship welder. Oh yeah, welders. Where are my welders? There's a welder, grinder, and drills. You put that on a ship, and it will dig into an asteroid, and it will automatically collect whatever you collect or knock out. So stone, iron, gold, all the minerals, silicon, all that. Grinders. Let's say you found a ship somewhere floating in space for whatever reason. You're on a multiplayer server or not, it doesn't matter. You can basically fly that ship into this area that you can build, and you can place grinders in that area so that if you land the ship on it, it'll automatically just grind it away. it's just gone. So the welder, let's see, the welder. Actually, you know what's funny? There's grinders right here. Yeah, I forgot this is basically the example world that was built in the game. So this is the slope block. This is the inverted corner block. More slope, inverted corner, slope. You know, just to give it a nice bold design. So if you want to grind a ship, you just float it down and land it on there, and the grinders will just grind it away. You know, like slowly go into it and just grind it. And then under these grinders are these little conveyor belts blocks that basically, these are the center conveyors that you can place as many as these want, and they will act as pipes, but they require more ingredients. Excuse me. So I'm a little stuffed up in the nose. It sucks. But anyway, so these are your blocks, or conveyor blocks. They'll connect any inventories to each other. There's no interface for them. You can go up to them and, you know, nothing will happen. There's no yellow overlay for interaction. But anyway, so the grinders are connected to these. They will connect, and if there's any bullets in the ship that you found, it will transfer to this defense turret that automatically shoots asteroids and enemy ships. That's a pretty cool feature and block. This reactor, if you grind a ship and there's any uranium ingots or uranium, whatever you want to call it, capsules, it'll automatically transfer them. There's no like visual block that moves through them. It's all, you know, interface working, so you can't actually see the block floating through it. But in coding and in the, you know, coding of the game, it says it'll transfer to here. So these basically just connect the inventories directly. Excuse me. So this is a reactor. This is what a reactor looks like. As you can see, I'm actually using a jetpack right now. Forgot to mention that. Jetpacks, you move forward, backward, using your WASD. W is forward, S is backward, A and D, and then you have space. Mine is Alt for down. Again, it's probably different. Q rotates it left. E rotates it, you know, clockwise. I can't remember what they're called. Pitch, yaw, and something else. I can't remember, but yeah. These connect here to this connector, or conveyor, excuse me. These go up into a storage block. This right here is a giant, what is it, a large cargo, yeah, huge cargo container. It's ridiculously huge. So if you go up here and you hit your action button, mine is R, because it's right next to my thing, or I thought it was R. I guess it's B, maybe? B. B is my inventory button. So, well, B is my interaction button. So as you can see, this is the outside. This is mine. It shows you your mass and your volume. You can only hold so much volume in survival mode. I think it's I can't remember. I think it's 1,000 or something. But anyway, your welder. These are different tools you have. I'll get to those in a minute. You can show the You can show the inventory that you're accessing by clicking this, or you can switch to this. So whatever reason, this is So this is the inventory of the object that I clicked on. So this is the large. So inside of it is a crap load of ammo for a minigun, which somehow connects to something. But anyway, so we float above. This is the bottom. Right here is a gravity generator. This, as you see at the bottom right of my screen, this says gravity 2.0 Gs. That's 2 times the amount of gravity that you see on Earth. Well, 9.8 meters a second. There's a huge fraction in that, but anyway. Or not a fraction, a repeating decimal, or well, not a repeating, I don't know how to put it, but anyway, so if we hit B, we can access a B on this control panel. Every generator comes with it, so if you place it, whatever direction the bottom of the generator is facing, so it's facing downwards, if you were to attach this to the wall, the gravity would go there. Basically, whatever direction is down relative to the position of this generator is the direction of the gravity. So if I hit B, I can change the field width, field height, field depth, and acceleration. So if I hit F11, there's debug draw. So I can hit debug draw. Well, that little circle appeared there. I don't know what that is. So there's some solar panels. Those show what solar panels are obtaining the electricity from the sun. That's pretty cool. Physics primitives. There we go. So the yellow, the green box. Do you see the green box? The green box is the area of which the gravity is affected. Now, if you can see, there's 2 green boxes. There's that one, kind of disappears if I look up. Alright, as you can see, there's kind of 2 boxes. One right here, you'll see the corner right there, and the corner right there. So if I move my mouse, you see it now. So that block, the second block that appears right there, is from this. There's another generator inside this ship that is generating the second field. That's why I'm under 2 Gs of gravity right now at this moment. So if I just hit X to turn my thing off, you can edit the field height. You won't be able to see. I'm gonna turn my jetpack off because when your character has this, it's really annoying, you know. But it's a yellow thing. So anyway, if I turn my jetpack on just to make that disappear, if I hit B and I adjust the width, you'll see in the background, see that green slider move, the little green bar move. So I can move the width, move the height of it, so it could be lower. And then I can change the depth, and I can change the acceleration, so it can be negative 1g. So now I'm in 0 gravity, and I can't move because my jetpack is off. So as you can see, it's 0 gravity because that generator is going 1g down, and this generator is going 1g up. So they're canceling each other out, and there's just no gravity within this field. So if I change the acceleration to that, it'll be 6 g. So if I jump, I can do like a longer jump, kind of. But you can't really see it, but yeah, up, up. I reached the end of the, so I'm now out of the field of this generator. So this one started lifting me up. So I'll just change this to the maximum height, acceleration. So if we run over here, you'll notice the 2G turns into 1G because I'm now out of the field from the ship's generator, and I'm in the field from that one. So if I leave this area, see there it says no gravity because I am no longer. So if I just turn my jetpack off, my inertia is just going to keep going. I'm just going to float away slowly. But if I turn my jetpacks on, I have inertia dampers. So if I hit Z while flying, my inertia dampers turn off. So I'll just keep flying. I'm not hitting any button. My speed at the bottom left is constant, and if I hit Z, it'll automatically slow me down. And then if I hit X, it'll slow me down. These are landing pads, flipped upside down, and attached to this little block. This is the crafting station. It's not really a thing. It's not a real block. It's just, you know, designed using a couple other blocks. So these, you basically just build whatever you want on here, build a small ship, and then turn off the landing pads using this control panel, or flight seat or control station. So if we hit B, or no, R, we'll sit inside of it. As you can see, our dude is sitting inside of it. So he's got little hands and nipples and everything. So if we hit B, or no, we'll hit G. Do you see these 4 landing gears? These are basically these 4 up here. So if I hit B and I go to the 4 landing gears and I shift click to select all of them, change the block group to crafting station, save. Okay, so and then I hit G. Now it created a block group. So if I can click and drag it right here, and then I'm going to say switch block. So now if I hit 1, it'll unlock the block, which means it turns to yellow. If it's yellow, that means it's within proximity of a block they can attach to. So if I were to go and bump that red block up there, it would fly away. But if I lock it, it won't. So anyway, let's continue. See, light blocks, these are pretty simple. You know, to the point, they're blocks that emit light. These are armor blocks that haven't been crafted all the way. They're probably for effect to show like a scaffolding design. More conveyors that lead to the turret. These are 3 example ships that were built. These are solar panels that, you know, transfer electricity to the reactor below. It just to save the world. Antenna platform that will allow you to, let's say you have an antenna on that blue ship over there. Actually, there is. So if you were to go into the control panel right here, over there, and then you select blue antenna, blue 2 antenna from the drop-down list, which is there. It's in the GUI. You can now control everything on that ship. You can control the thrusters and have it fly into the station if you wanted to. This is a constructor. This is a basic necessity ship that you want to build in survival mode. You can build them however you want. This is just one design that was apparently already built. So you have your reactor, thrusters. You need thrusters pointing in all 6 directions. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, all 6 directions. To, you know, make sure your inertia can always be dampened and reversed, so you can always be stationary if you're not holding any buttons, so you don't just fly off into endless space. And they got 2 spotlights on them to shine light on something to help you see better. This is a grinder and this is a welder. You can switch between the 2 inside the cockpit. This is the cockpit right here. So then these are collectors. So if there's a block above the ship, or a little tiny little component floating in space, if it goes near this, it'll suck it in and put it into, I believe there is a cargo container, yes, and also a connector. Connectors are used, they can magnetize to another connector. They'll attract towards each other until these 2 circular faces are now touching each other. There's a connector over here as well. This is the cargo container. This is a conveyor belt connecting to a reactor, to another reactor. There's a lot of reactors. Is that another reactor? No, it's a cargo container. This is your assembler. This you put components in there, and you can have it construct certain pieces like steel plates to build blocks, or, you know, stuff for stuff. So very specific. A refinery, this is actually a very large block when you're putting it on a large ship. Different blocks have different sizes. Like, let's see if we go this way. As you can see right here, this is actually not a conveyor block. Dang it. This is not a conveyor block. This is actually a 1x1 cargo container. Now that is a small cargo block. That is a small cargo container. A small cargo container is this big on a large ship or station. So blocks have different sizes. Certain blocks cannot be placed on small ships like refineries and assemblers because that'd be weird. There are mods that probably create them so they can be. This is interior wall for design, more scaffolding design. This is an unfinished armor block. But this connector connects, if you connect a ship like a drill ship that just got done drilling, it'll basically transfer all the minerals, all the blocks, everything, all the metals and such into this container, which will then transfer into this conveyor. Or wait, is that a conveyor? Or is that a container? That's definitely a container. So these conveyors also connect to these collectors. So if you have a ship that has a connector, you can also set the connector to eject items. So whatever block is inside this, you can eject it, it'll just shoot it out. So you can have a ship just fly over, instead of going through the trouble of lining it up, you can just have it float over this, hit eject, and it'll collect in either of these, which will go into this conveyors, which will go straight down. They'll prioritize to go straight into this giant cargo container. Or they'll automatically go into the refinery, where they will now be smelted into ingots, like gold, iron, and stuff. So then the ingots will either go straight to the assembler. You can set it to do that, I believe. You can enable conveyor usage on this, so it'll automatically transfer. All you need to do is place at least one iron ingot in here, and it'll automatically start sucking the ingots away from other blocks to put it in there, because obviously you need them in there since you put the one in there. You can put as many as you want in there, but it'll automatically transfer the component or mineral or whatever ingot into the assembler if there's already some parts in there to begin with. So there's that, and then the assembler will automatically start producing components that you need to create blocks. There's a mouthful of all this. So yeah, connectors connect to stuff, and they, every block has its name that means the same what it means. So this is a fighter. It's a fighting ship that has 2 rocket launcher tubes connected to it. To load a rocket launcher tube, you need to literally, and go into it. Like, it sucks because you have to actually front load it. On large ships, I believe you can automatically load them. I don't know if there's a conveyor on this. I don't know if the back is also used as a conveyor. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Gatling guns are opposite, though. They can be used with conveyors, which are these, which are connected to... What is that? What is that? A little doorway thing. What is that? Ejector. That's so cute. So I don't know if that exactly is ejecting, unless... Yeah, I don't know if that would be ejecting exactly. But anyway, so those are ejectors, whatever. They're basically a connector that only ejects stuff. I don't know if I hit go to the control panel and I hit ejector. Okay, so it can collect all, and then throw out blocks. So I guess I don't know, but you would use that in a Gatling gun and cargo container. So these you load in a bunch of shells for your Gatling gun. It'll automatically disperse into the Gatling gun. If you put too many, they'll start transferring in here, so you can fill up this by putting them in here. So you can't really access that because the thruster is in the way, but that's a spotlight. It's mirrored on this side, so you have the cargoes over here. So Gatling gun shoots bullets, rocket launcher shoots rockets. So this is an antenna to show where it is. If you lose it, it'll show a little text showing you where it is. It's a giant thruster that puts out more oomph than the smaller ones. Again, they have them in every direction, I believe, unless are there none floating downwards? Huh. There's gotta be some floating downwards, no? There we go, there they are. Yeah, there's some thrusters floating downwards. They can't have blocks under them because the thruster will melt the block and eventually destroy it, so it's safe to just not have these directly below it. This is actually a nice design. This is obviously, pre-built in the game by the developers or whoever. So if I flip here, I don't think it can go in here. Nope. So that doesn't matter. So these are just designs for wings, I suppose, to put the thrusters. You consider them engines, I suppose. On the bottom of this, you have a collector that collects objects. So I believe if you were, I don't really know what you would use this for, because I don't know what you would be collecting. There's no collector block on here unless these blocks connect. There's also a battery here that connects to. Also, you can see right here, they're little reactors. These are the small reactors. Now remember how I said blocks had different sizes? This small reactor is that reactor. Say this reactor right here, it's a small reactor, but on a small ship, it's even a smaller reactor.